What's up, gang? How's it going? Happy Friday. Cheers to the weekend. My name is Amanda Nyberg. I'm a registered dietitian with a passion for health and wellness. And I wanted to come on today and talk to you guys about a very popular question I get from my followers and my clients, and that is alcohol and weight loss. Can you have both? Inquiring minds want to know. And as we roll into the weekend, I know here in Kentucky, it's supposed to be beautiful. It is the first Saturday of May, which in prior history, it would be the running of the roses, the Kentucky Derby. So a lot of people are thinking about getting outside, celebrating, having a cocktail. And I think we can all agree that the alcohol has been flowing a little bit heavier throughout quarantine. And I think it's important for people to recognize what type of impact alcohol will have to your long-term goals. So let's talk about that. First and foremost, then I'm going to share with you a couple of my favorite cocktails and some tips that you can use to kind of make your cocktail a little bit healthier. But first and foremost, a lot of people don't realize that alcohol is actually the fourth macronutrient. So we have carbohydrates, proteins, fats, and alcohol. That is actually the fourth macronutrient. And because alcohol is actually its own macronutrient, it has 7 calories versus carbohydrates and proteins have 4 calories per gram, and fat has 9 calories per gram. But because alcohol is its own macronutrient, is really why alcohol impacts your metabolism. So the word on the street is that alcohol slows down your metabolism. And unfortunately, I have some bad news. The word on the street is correct. And the reason for that has to do with the body's ability to store macronutrients. So alcohol, being that it is the fourth macronutrient, the body cannot store it. It's considered a toxin. So it has to be metabolized first and foremost, because there's nowhere in the body to adequately store alcohol. So because of that, alcohol takes priority over metabolism in that digestion, in that metabolism process. So I always say, here's the easiest way to break it down, okay? If you sit down to steak, broccoli, and a glass of wine, when you're done eating, your body is going to kind of store the steak and broccoli while it works to break down that glass of wine. And alcohol metabolism can take anywhere from 4 to 6 hours. So you kind of lose 4 to 6 hours of metabolism when you're consuming alcohol with a meal. And that's why people say alcohol slows down your metabolism. Whereas if you sat down to steak and broccoli and a glass of water, the minute you were done eating, your body would start to break down the steak and broccoli. So your metabolism kicks in quickly with that. So that's where alcohol can really impact your overall weight loss. Now, I am not a teetotaler. You know, I love a wine spritzer. I love a tequila drink. I love alcohol. It's a very large part of my social life. So it's not realistic for me to think that I'm not going to drink alcohol. Maybe in January I won't drink alcohol. So I think that it's unrealistic for me to expect that of my clients as well. So one of the things that we really focus on in Lean, Living Energized and Nourished, is how to balance it all out, okay? How can I still enjoy my cocktails, you know, on the weekends or during celebrations, but yet still see results? And here's the best thing that I encourage my clients to do. Limit alcohol to no more than once or twice a week if weight loss is your goal. Now, if you're in maintenance mode, you know, if you are not actively pursuing, you know, active weight loss, then you're going to be able to get away with alcohol more often. But if you're really trying to, you know, crush the pounds, lose those inches, then you want to limit it to no more than once or twice a week. Here's the deal. In my opinion, drinking that one glass of wine a night is far more harmful to your metabolism and your weight loss goals than, say, drinking 2 or 3 glasses on Friday. Again, because if you're just drinking 1 glass of alcohol every night, you're getting that metabolic hit every night. Whereas if you're limiting your alcohol to once a week, twice a week, then you're getting that metabolic hit once or twice, all right? So that's my biggest suggestion, is limit alcohol to once or twice a week. Now, let's talk about what we're eating, okay? And what we're drinking. And you know, I love my lean clients because they will work really hard to leave macros on the table in order to be able to consume that glass of wine each night. And sometimes I have to break it to them, you know, good job. I'm glad you saved an extra 150 calories for that 6-ounce pour, that 8-ounce pour of wine. But if you do that every night, then you're not going to be happy. You're not going to be happy with lean. And it's not going to be the lean's fault. It's going to be your Chardonnay's fault. So again, limit it to once or twice a week. Let me know if you have any questions about the impact of alcohol with weight loss. Now, let's talk about the different alcohol and kind of what impact it has with regards to macros. Now, this is a really interesting thing to consider if you're a tracker, if you're logging. When you track alcohol, like let's say you put in MyFitnessPal an ounce of vodka. Well, it doesn't come out of your macros because it is its own macro, all right? So it doesn't subtract anything because it, you know, vodka has 0 carbs, 0 grams of protein, and 0 grams of fat. All right, it only has 100 calories because again, it is its own macronutrient. So sometimes that throws people off. They're like, Amanda, I logged that tequila that I took a shot of because my kids were driving me crazy, and it didn't show up in my macros, but it did show up in your calories. So keep that in mind. Important to know. So hard liquor is basically gonna be 0 carbs, 0 grams of protein, 0 grams of fat. I mean, we're talking about tequila, yes. We're talking about vodka. I promise this was full at the beginning of quarantine, yes. We're talking about bourbon, you know, hard liquor, gin, what else is there? I'm sure you guys know, tell me. And so that is what you are, you know, just going to be getting a caloric intake. Now, what you mix with it is going to be the big issue, okay? So, for example, I love, these are some of my favorite mixers. Now, I love club soda, okay? So, club soda, I love Navy Hill. This is actually their soda and tonic, which I'm going to talk about. LaCroix, sparkling water, you know, things like that are really good because these are 0 calories. So if you take this lime LaCroix and you mix it with a little tequila, put a little lime in it, maybe put a little bit of orange extract, it tastes like a margarita. If you fresh squeeze some limes, super low calorie, whereas a typical margarita is going to have anywhere from 300 to 400 calories per glass. And that's where this stuff kind of adds up, you know. If you're going out on Cinco de Mayo and you're gonna crush 5 or 6 margaritas, well, that's a 2,000 calorie drinking day, all right? And we haven't even eaten the chips and salsa. So it's really the mixers that get you. For example, if you do rum and Coke, all the macronutrients, all the, you know, all the carbohydrates and that come from the Coke, okay? So you get 100 calories from the rum, and then you get 100 calories from the Coke, and you get 15 grams of carbs. So it's all within the mixer. Whereas if you do a rum and Diet Coke, then, you know, basically it's 0 calorie. I mean, the Diet Coke is 0 calories, so it's just what the rum is. So really be picky about the things that you mix your hard liquor with. Like I said, like tonic. Tonic is very high in carbohydrates and sugar. People don't always realize that. They think tonic is the same as club soda. So club soda is 0 across the board. It's like LaCroix. But tonic is going to give you carbs and sugars. So don't do a vodka tonic. Do a vodka soda with 16 limes, right? Bartenders hate me. Another thing that I love to use is if you need a little kick, Like, don't use regular Red Bull, use sugar-free Red Bull, okay? Now, this is like, you know, when you're at the end of the night and you want to keep going. But again, like regular Red Bull is going to give you a ton of carbs and sugars. If you use sugar-free Red Bull with your vodka, it's going to be a lot better with regards to the macros. I also love diet ginger beer. I know the glare's a little hard, but I love mojitos. Who loves a mojito? Give me a thumbs up. Give me a heart. But I love mojitos. And, no, I'm sorry. I love mojitos. But I'm talking about a Moscow Mule. I love Moscow Mules. But ginger beer is really high in carbs and sugars. So if you go out, think about asking if they have diet ginger beer in the Moscow Mule. So I love this. 0, 0, 0. I have the best low calorie Moscow Mule recipe. Find it on my Instagram page. It's awesome. So good. It's like ginger beer, lime LaCroix, a little bit of vodka, some fresh squeezed limes. Really good. So big difference in that with regards to that ginger beer. So those are good to use. I love like little sparkling waters. Like I love this like little grapefruit drink, this iced grapefruit with some vodka. Hello, very refreshing. I love what are they called? A Golfer's Delight maybe, which is like grapefruit and vodka. Love fresh squeezed grapefruit, fresh squeezed orange juice with vodka, but the fresh squeeze is gonna get you, okay? The macros are gonna be high, the calories are gonna be high, the sugar is gonna be high. So it's okay if you wanna have one, but if you're day drinking on the beach, then you may use this, which is 0. So 0. So you're still gonna get that kind of effervescent grapefruit. I know LaCroix has some of that if you wanna stay away from the artificial sweeteners. So I love using this. Even Crystal Light, okay? One of my favorite drinks is a Long Island iced tea. I'm a graduate of the University of Kentucky, and and I'm old, and we used to go to Logan's. Who used to go to Logan's and get the Long Island iced tea and ask for a bump? Did you? Give me a heart. Give me a thumbs up. I'm dating myself. They don't give bumps anymore because I'm pretty sure like people died. It's like a double Long Island iced tea. So I love to use just some like Crystal Light. I know it's like hard to see, but to make like a really yummy like Long Island iced tea. Now, Long Island iced teas are a little macro heavy, so keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. So think about your mixers when you are creating your cocktails, because that's typically kind of what gets you in trouble. Now, let's talk about wine. Let's talk about beer. So obviously, you know, beer is going to be, it depends on what you get. So Bud Light, there's even lighter beers out there. So it always cracks me up because people are like, well, it's basically like watered down beer. Get your, 64 Select or something. But, they're super low calories, like Mick Ultra, those Ultra beers, they're well under 100 calories. And they're typically really low in carbs, like 2, 3 carbs. But you'd be surprised, even like just regular light beer is not that much more, it's under, it's right around 100 calories, a couple of carbs. Once you get into like lagers and ciders, once you get into like ales, that's when the carb count and the calorie count tends to increase. But in perspective, they're still relatively low. I would say under 10 grams of carbs, unless they're kind of like a fruity blend or something. So watch your things like that. Somebody was asking about like the White Claws. Yes, I love the new like seltzer drinks. They're like 100 calories, super low carbs, great option, especially if you're going to be drinking like a lot when hopefully we're back to tailgating and, things like that. Those are awesome because you can have quite a few and still stay on track. Whereas if you have like a pina colada or a margarita, things are going to really ramp up. Wine, red wine, white wine are very similar with regards to caloric intake. Typically about 4 ounces is right around 100 calories. That's the trick, okay? I want you guys to I got a challenge for you this weekend. I want you to measure out your pour. So I want you to do your typical pour, and then I want you to measure it out and see, are you drinking 1 serving of wine a day, or are you drinking 2 servings of wine a day? A lot of times people are like, yes, I just had 1 glass, but it's got like 8 ounces in it. Who can agree? Give me a heart, give me a thumbs up if you're a heavy pourer. But I do love white wine. I was talking about I have so much Chardonnay. I hate Chardonnay. I love a Sauvignon Blanc. I love a Pinot Grigio. I love a Riesling. You know, your sweeter wines like Rieslings, like White Zen, things like that tend to be a little bit higher in carbohydrates, but not by much. What I love to make is called a wine spritzer. And so what I do is I do about 4 ounces of wine, load it up with ice, and then I pour some club soda, LaCroix, some type of bubbly on it. And it just ultimately, it's very refreshing, very springy. And it ultimately just, it slows me down. I tend to be a fast drinker, especially in social scenarios. I love a vodka soda, I love a tequila soda, but I have to be really careful because I'm like, I just suck them down. My other hack for like a vodka drink, if that's what you like, is order a double soda. So I will typically ask the waiter, waitress, I'll say, I'd like a vodka double soda. And you have to say it 3 times or you'll get a double vodka soda. And you don't want that. But basically, I'm like, I want 1 vodka with 2 sodas. So put it in a tall, load up on the soda. And that just helps. You know, sometimes I'll even, like, because I'm social, I like to go out and drink. So sometimes I'll do like a vodka double soda and then I'll be like, give me a soda. And I'll drink that. And then I'll do another vodka soda because I'm also a lightweight. So I got to pace myself. So club soda is like the best thing to incorporate in order to really kind of like slow you down when you're doing lots of drinking. So I love to do like a wine spritzer with some lime. That's on my page. I've got a great video for that. And then, you know, red wine is nice to kind of sip on. I think you don't necessarily chug red wine as quickly as you chug white. I don't know. I'm not a huge red wine connoisseur, but I do love a Meiomi and I do love a Camus. So I like expensive red wine. That's my problem. And yeah, so, you know, you've got your wine, you've got your beer, you've got your liquor, you know, all of those things definitely can have a place in your, you know, lifestyle and still wanting to lose weight. So as you're moving forward, as the world is opening up, as you're thinking about getting yourself back on track, losing that quarantine 15, take stock in kind of how much alcohol you've been consuming. I know for me, the hard part is like, it feels like Friday every night. I'm like, is it Friday? There's not this like differentiation between the weekends and the weekdays. So, you know, try to find that structure, get through the weekend, maybe cut back on the alcohol if you're doing it on a daily basis. Consider tracking it. I always say alcohol does break your fast. So if you are in a program that incorporates intermittent fasting, it does need to be in your eating window. I had a client reach out to me like at week 6 and she's like, Amanda, I didn't realize my nightly vodka soda was breaking my fast. And I was like, yes, it was. It counts. So keep that in mind as well. Let me know what questions you have regarding alcohol and weight loss. I actually have an amazing skinny cocktail guide that kind of sums up all of this stuff. It's in my bio on Instagram and I'll link it in the comments of this Facebook video. So check it out, download it. I give you 10 healthier skinny cocktails that you can maybe give a try this week. And you know, at the end of the day, all I ask is that if you found this information beneficial, I know your friends and family will find it informational too. So please use the share button, tag your friends and family on this video so they know how their daily quarantine cocktail may be impacting their overall health. Love you guys. Have an amazing weekend. Cheers. It's gonna be a good one. Talk to you later. Bye. I'll go through and answer all your questions. Yes. Let's see here.